Momo and Todoroki. Well done. Job well done. You were able to take out one of the senseis, Aizawa. One of the senseis I never expected to go down first of all people. But if it wasn't for the great teamwork from Todoroki and Momo, I don't think it would have been possible. So, I want to take brief note of something that was said at the beginning of this chapter that majority, even myself included until I reread the chapter, missed. At the bottom right of the first page of the chapter, which I completely missed, I don't know how, but I missed it, I'm going to be honest here, I'm not going to lie to you. I missed it, I reread the chapter, and when I reread the chapter, there was a weakness that Aizawa says he had, and if Momo and Todoroki would have knew about this, and if they would have used it to their advantage, it would have been very bad for him. And they didn't really use the advantage. I mean, they somewhat used it, but they didn't completely use the advantage, or they didn't really catch on to what was really going on with Aizawa Sensei. So, let's point it out here. Aizawa says that when it comes to him blinking or deactivating and activating his quirk ability, the length between his activation time and deactivation time, or, reactivating it again, increases over time. So, a dragged out fight is not good for Aizawa, because every time he's activating his ability, he's staring you down, deactivating your quirk, and when he blinks his eyes and deactivates it, and then when he tries to open his eyes up again, the time between when his eyes open up and he's able to use his quirk again increases. So, he won't be able to use his ability and spam it over and over after every blink. So this is a very big weakness to Aizawa's quirk ability, which explains why he said what he said in the first time we really ever saw him at the beginning of his first fights. He's like, I'm the type of person that likes the fast recon fights. He just wants to quickly get those fights out of the way. He doesn't want to have a long drawn out fight like All Might. He just wants to fight that will end rather quickly. And this explains quite a bit now, because, if he's in a drawn-out fight over, a course of 10 minutes, the enemy's going to start catching on to his weakness. They're going to be like, oh, so that's how I can defeat you, and yeah, that would end quite bad. So, to see that, it makes a lot of sense now why Aizawa was constantly keeping his eyes open in that Shigaraki fight. If you remember that fight, the first huge fight we ever got in Boku no Hero Academia, look at Aizawa. He barely ever closed his eyes in that fight at all. If you watch, he always kept his eyes open. He really strained to keep his eyes open. So it goes to show you that his weakness can prove to be rather fatal over time, and he was trying to hide that against the villains. So now that I've said that, let's get back into what the chapter was besides that one point of Aizawa Sensei. So, Momo, the metal you used, where it came from. Okay, so that was the gate of Babylon. That's the gate of fucking Babylon. Her cleavage was just the gate of Babylon for a second from Fate Stay Night. You just see this just pouring out, and I'm like, what in the fuck? You just see Todoroki turn around. No, let's get in the position of Todoroki. Let's say if we were in Todoroki's situation, you turn around and you see your teammate just having this metal just coming out of her cleavage like this and just pouring out. How are you supposed to react to that? And Todoroki's like, and he acted like he didn't even see it. He's like, I didn't see nothing. Pretty funny. And the no chill from Momo in that scene was pretty damn funny. Or no chill from the mangaka, actually, to be able to do something like that. To see what type of plan Momo came up with, she was going to be using this metal to wrap up Aizawa from the heat that Todoroki is going to be using, in which it wasn't really her full plan to begin with. She had quick thinking that she was going to do, but her actual plan was to use the metal, kind of throw it around Aizawa Sensei, use the catapult, and then get it to where the metal would go around him. But then, all the plans kind of went south because she accidentally missed the catapult when Aizawa charged her, and in that quick second thinking, she fucked up, and she's like, Todoroki, use your fire, and then, the metal wrapped around Aizawa Sensei. So, you had it to where Momo asked Aizawa, okay, did you go easy on us? Because I messed up. I fucked up the catapult. You could have easily wrecked me. And then at that time, he's like, no, I chose to retreat because I was worried more about Todoroki's ice and fire and stuff. Because, if you saw what Todoroki did in the chapter, he used his full maximum output of ice that just launched. and it was incredibly huge. It was a fucking huge-ass ice wall. So thinking about it like that, Ice Wall being scared and backing off, it makes sense, but, I mean, if it wasn't for that split-second thinking, they would have lost that. They definitely would have. And also, if it wasn't probably for Aizawa weakening over time, constantly using his eyes, blinking and non-blinking, it just probably that also made it to where it gave them enough time to be able to beat them. So, yeah, good job, good job, good job. I can't wait to see it to where Todoroki is able to use his fire to the extent of his ice that you used in this chapter. Okay, so we move on to the final portion of the chapter, and we get the announcement that Todoroki and Momo has won. And with the announcement, everybody that is ongoing with their fights hears this. Now, what does this really mean? Like, what does this imply to the students and the senseis? For one, it adds pressure. It adds pressure letting you know that there was someone already in your class that was able to take out one of these senseis or escape one of these senseis, which adds pressure to the other students because they're realizing like, holy shit, that person's better than me, that team is better, we need to start getting our heads back into the game, and that adds pressure. But also it adds competition, and then it also adds it to where the senseis will realize, holy hell, one of our buddies, our co-workers, got fucked up or lost, of all people. So we need to start going all in, like All Might's doing right now. Like, All Might's just not giving them a leg to stand on, he's just fucking up Bakugo and Izuku like it's nothing. So, yeah. This is going to cause it to where the entire situation with the teachers is going to get worse because they're going to go all in against the students. Now, All Might at the end, oh my god, I gotta once again say it. What is with All Might? Every time he makes an appearance in the chapter, his appearance is like a damn villain. Like, the way he's just holding Izuku, he's just holding him up like that. And you just see the devastation all around him. And just seeing how All Might just wrecked these two. He's holding Izuku up by his arms, and it's villain status right there. All Might, he should have taken theater or play. I think he did in the past, because to be able to be portrayed as a villain so well, he definitely learned how to play as a villain. Or he's been around so many villains, he knows how they act, because the way All Might acts, especially in these latest chapters, villain status. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.